like not be behind this.
Recording in progress.
I use the mouse, or do you need it?
I need it.
Okay, it was worth a shot. All right. Hello, everyone. Good morning. I hope all of you are doing well. My name is Ethan Berg. I'm the founder and CEO of Agora World, and our mission is to simplify the creation of 3D experiences and immersive social experiences. Essentially, we're building Canva for 3D and for the metaverse. So, just out of curiosity, how many of you have experienced the metaverse in some capacity? That would be a 3D environment, right? That is more than most rooms usually have, so that's pretty good. How many of you have created 3D content? A lot less, right? Because the barrier to entry is extremely high when it comes to creating this content. So the reason why we feel like it's going to be the future is because people are desiring human experiences, just like what we're having here, right? Face to face, you can shake a hand, it feels human. It's always in real time, so you're with somebody right at that moment. It's interactive, it feels real, it's 3D rather than a flat 2D and mundane space. It's social and collaborative, so you can interact with others that are there at the same time as yourself, and it works all the time. And brands need to immerse people in their businesses in order to tell their story and get people to be a part of their brand. And if you don't have a 3D experience within 10 years, your business will be out of business. I took this quote from Bill Gates when he was talking about the internet in the 90s. But ultimately, right, people were really hesitant on adopting the telephone in the early 1900s. Hit 75 million people in 1950, 75 years after being invented. The 90s, people hesitated on websites. And today, people are hesitating on 3D experiences. So the biggest problem that we've been finding within this space in itself is that it's very difficult to design and create functional 3D content. People can create 3D content, but does it work? Does it do what you need it to do? And that is a very time-consuming, technical, and expensive process at the current moment. I face this problem because I don't know how to code. I am not a developer at all. And I started building this back in 2019. The accessibility is low if you're focused on just VR rather than traditional devices. Most of the people are just like me, don't know how to code, so we have no ability to create these things today. And because of that, it takes months and hundreds of thousands of dollars to create these experiences right now, which is very, very difficult for smaller brands and individuals to get involved. So we're building Canva or WordPress for 3D. It is a very simple to create platform for your next generation website. You'll be able to put it directly on your own website by May. And those are just some examples of some pretty cool experiences we've got people building right now, which is awesome. But the way that this works is that we have an SDK that we just released for Unity, a developer kit that lets developers and designers add full extended function. They can add integrations for Web 2 or Web 3 software. They can add their own 3D models, templates, gamification elements, as well as custom code. We're the only company on the market that lets you put your own code on it. And all of those things get published on our platform as a building block so that people like me can come along, discover those things, and purchase those things from those designers and developers to publish an experience to hundreds of thousands of people in minutes. So we offer all of the multiplayer support, the hosting, cross-platform support, basically the entire backend infrastructure that powers a multiplayer game or experience. We've already done all of that, and we're white labeling it for people to leverage, so they don't have to do that themselves. I would show this. I'll show it at the end if that makes sense, to make it easier. But right now, we're focused on simplifying the creation of immersive training and educational spaces, as well as market research, which is a pretty large market. The way that we're attacking this is by partnering with agencies. So we've got a ton of brands that we're working with, digital marketing agencies, game studios, that are reselling our technology for us to other brands that are in their network. They already have the trust of these organizations, right? So it makes our job a lot easier, and it gives them a new revenue stream that they can take advantage of. There we go. We've been grinding for the past 2 years. We've been in alpha. We're releasing our beta in May, which is great. But we're working with some tremendous organizations, Lockheed Martin being one of them, Singapore Airlines, Eliza.fi from Finland, Independence Blue Cross, you name it. And we found that people are spending an average of 1 hour per session versus under a minute on your traditional website, which is fantastic. We've spent no marketing. So our entire ecosystem is built from referrals. People come, they love it, they share it, and someone else comes. And we've raised almost no money at all. So we've been bootstrapping this to the death, and we're really pushing for the scale here. But that only talks a little bit about our full ecosystem. So we've kind of got 4 quadrants within our ecosystem. We've got agency and game studio partners who are building professional experiences as well as building blocks for other brands to leverage, brands that are building their own experiences that they are publishing for their teams or for their communities. We've got educational partners that are creating more learning experiences, the ability for students to better interact and learn hands-on rather than having to learn from a video or traditional media. And then platform and tech partners are actually integrating to offer their technology as an app within our platform, so it's seamless with the rest of your workflow, because otherwise, why are you going to use it? So it has to be easy. And the way that we make money is freemium. Anyone can come start for free. I'll send you a link today. You can come and start and build. Our UI UX definitely needs to be updated, but we're working on that as we speak. But for free, anyone can create an event or an experience for up to 20 people at any given moment. $10 a month, you get analytics up to 200 people at any given moment. Business tier is you put it directly on your own website, so it's yours. And enterprise is going to be bulk licenses plus a marketplace where people are buying and selling all of these custom content that others leverage for their experience. And in this space in itself, I mean, there's a common theme here. The more simple it gets, the more limited it is. And the more complex it gets, the more extendable it is. And we're really looking at breaking that dynamic and enabling those that do not have the technical skills to create something that's fully custom for them. And all of these companies, none of them are really focused on doing it the way that we are right now. Our team's fantastic. You met me, my CTO, Sky. That's his real name, Sky Knight. Swear to God, you should meet his brothers. He's written books on VR. He's taught courses, written curriculum for this. Like he's fantastic. Out of the Bay Area. Corey has a 500,000 person community on LinkedIn for Web3, and he's helping us get the word out starting next month. And then Atif, he's a fantastic developer. He has more development experience than I do on Earth, literally. And then our advisors are the best of the best. Sorry for this. I had to fix formatting when I exported it. But Lewis invented augmented reality at the Air Force in the 90s. Stephen Buerkel, he founded Real Networks in the 90s, as well as 10 other companies. And Sam DeStasso runs VR and AR gaming at Unity. So we've got tremendous advisors guiding us in the right direction. But right now, we are facing a lot of issues. We have a very big lack of resources. I mean, as you saw, we've got 3.5 people on our team right now. And we're competing against companies that are raising millions, if not billions of dollars. So that in itself is very difficult to move quick enough that we're really providing our customers a holistic solution. We have a lack of funding, which obviously attributes towards things like that, our ability to promote, to market. We don't have a budget to do those things at the current moment. So there's a lot of things we're overlooking that we really shouldn't be. And then the intuitive UI UX. I've been designing it from my own experience. I am not a UI UX designer, so that's an area we're investing in right now in order to make it a more simple and intuitive experience in itself. But I'd love for you guys to help in a few different areas. I mean, number one, we're looking for early adopters and beta testers. We're very early. We're looking to do case studies. We're looking to break the mold and just test this with as many people as humanly possible. And then when it comes to resources, any recommendations for funding or grant opportunities, or people that want to support and work with us, that should be one bullet point. People that want to support and work with us, as well as feedback and criticism. I welcome criticism, please. The harder it is for me to hear, the more likely I am to actually need to hear it. So I encourage anyone that does want to come and provide some feedback. I'd love to see how you use our platform so that I can understand how we can do better. So I believe that is all on my end. Thank you very much for your time. Please feel free to reach out.
What was that video?
Oh yeah, I can do that. Can I get the mouse for this? I don't think I can actually. Ooh. I don't know if I was supposed to go here.
Nice. I go.
Yeah, we're on it. I would mute it. I don't know if there's music, but it's probably going to be freaking loud. That is not what you're going to be seeing, by the way. While this thing loads, does anyone have any questions, criticisms, comments? Oh, sorry, dude.
Where do you see how this interacts with AI now at this point in time?
Come on. And it should be high quality. This is HD. It's probably taking a second for it to actually render here. But AI comes into play for a variety of things. And these are all experiences our community's built, by the way. We have people that have absolutely no coding experience coming and building concert venues, educational content, Burning Man, we're working with them right now to create some experiences, career fairs, conferences, business centers, digital twins of their property. We have people building video games. We built a first-person shooter video game last week in 20 hours. 20 total hours.
How many people?
One person. We deploy that to 100,000 people in about 3 seconds. So when it comes to AI comes in for a few things. I think on the creation end, it's going to be substantially easier for people like myself to go and type in a prompt, and it's able to do some of the things for me, create my own world, and make 3D assets for me that I want to utilize, even storyboard. Like at some point I'll be able to tell it, I want to do X, Y, and Z, and it will do those actions for me. On top of that, we have people that are leveraging it as like a trainer, as well as for like an assistant within the space to help people that are coming to visit their experience. Your hand up before.
Yes, I have 2 questions. In terms of your B2B distribution, what business outcomes are you selling to?
It depends on the business. Like I think everyone's kind of got their own purpose, right? Like we're very big on purpose-driven creation, where it's like if you don't focus on why, it will not be successful. And that's why most of the stuff you see within the metaverse today is all BS, because it's really not designed for the why. It's just the what. We need to have the metaverse included in our name, right? So when it comes to that, like we've seen organizations, a lot of them are looking to make money. I'll be honest, they're looking for new revenue streams or a way to enhance their current revenue stream. A lot of them, training and education is by far the #1 biggest request we get. Onboarding your team, training, my co-founder built a crane simulator, so you can actually get certified on operating one of those giant building cranes completely virtually. You don't have to do it in person anymore. So that's a major area of interest.
Okay. That sparked another question. We can continue later, but my second question is, are you in contact with any startup accelerators?
So we haven't started getting in touch with them yet. We are participating in one starting in March. I'm not allowed to name it just yet. No, unfortunately I can't, but I'll be moving to Europe for the next couple of months in order to participate in that. But we've been looking to get in touch with them. I want this to be something that empowers anybody, truly. That's our whole goal. My pitch deck is inside of a virtual world, so I usually let people explore.
Are you aware of crowdfunding? You can raise up to $5 million from crowdfunding now. The advantage of crowdfunding is that anybody can invest in it. It doesn't have to be a qualified investor. There's companies out there that can do it. Fundopolis is one that comes to mind right away. They've got local representatives in the area. Talk to them. You can set up whatever you want as far as whether you want to give equity, debt. There are a lot of ways you can do it, and the best part about it is whatever money you raise, you keep. All you need is a small amount of money to market it. You can do that. You can do that pretty easily.
We got approved by Republic.com, which is a crowdfunding platform. We're kind of in the works of debating on whether or not we want to do that just yet. We kind of want to get web up and running first so they can click a link and see it for themselves.
Well, I can talk to you, or I'll introduce you to the guy who runs it in our area, and he'd be happy to talk to you.
I appreciate
think it would work really well for you. Second thing, you doing anything with the 3D TV people? Or anything with 3D
3D TV with like movies. We have a few that are trying to create movies using our platform right now. They're filming solely inside of experiences, which is pretty incredible, as well as designing a film school.
The reason why I bring it up is I've got some experience in this area, and I know that the problem with 3D TVs is they have a very, very special screen that has to be made for them in order to make the 3D come out. How do you overcome that? You know what I'm talking about?
I do, yeah. Well, I mean, right now we only deploy to Mac and Windows. We're gonna have browser support by May, and then mobile, tablet, and VR by end of year, AR next year. So you'll be able to deploy it wherever you want with a click of a button, rather than having to do the work to do it yourself. I think that comes more into play with like holographics, as well as with augmented reality coming to life a little bit more. So you adopt glasses and contacts that are able to render on top of the real world. We'll see that being adopted a little bit more.
I love what you're doing. I love the way you're doing it because zero marketing cost. Word of mouth is the best way to go. Good luck with that. Do you know anything about Microsoft? Anybody connected with Microsoft?
My brother actually is working at Microsoft right now. They just shut down their entire division. That's why I've got right here, where is it? Alt space, RIP, crossed off. They're shutting that down in March. Facebook's dropping theirs too.
Microsoft has M12. Do you know the M12 venture?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know. M12 is investment. People like you. Looking for it. That's how they buy this up. One of my mentees working on it. I know they put $1.6 billion in OpenAI.
10 billion now.
No. Last week, 30 billion.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Got it? That's ridiculous. You can be perfect candidate for that.
I appreciate that a lot.
That's fantastic. I love it.
I've got so many questions, I don't even know where to start. So looking at this here, there are a few more that you.
Oh, yeah, there's some that I'm missing,
You need to put on there. I like what you're doing. It's one of the better presentations I've seen. I could spend an hour going over the presentation with you. The one thing that hit me the most though was your Tam Tom song, and it's like you had like a $20 trillion value thing.
The entire market's going to be encompassed by 3D, in my personal opinion. So
Okay, but
20
that's
trillion is a market
that's
cap
your
right now.
opinion though. Those numbers are numbers that you have to have verified, or at least something that you can show people. This is where I got that, because an investor will ask as to where do you come up with this number. That's what I believe. No, that's not going to fly. So I would work on those.
I understand that. I mean, okay, I understand.
Yeah. You've got a good team. I can hook you up with some more people.
I'd love to chat with you about
And
that.
I do game development.
Yeah,
so.
we should continue the conversation.
All right.
So, we're trying to figure out how to do, like what you showed there, that room. What do we as a business need to have besides obviously your software, whatever? What's my customer have to be able to get in there?
So are you looking to make it identical to your physical location? Or are you looking for it to not look identical?
Sort of, meaning that it doesn't have to be identical, okay? But functionally, yeah, we actually want you to walk through the door. We want you to hear it. And in such a manner that I can amplify Mary 100 times. To get rid of the limitation I have now. If he's talking to Mary, you can't talk to Mary. The computers, we can have 100.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, AI is going to be very important for that, for like a persona that would be like a Mary that can interact with someone.
So we're trying to figure out what do we need to have as a business, and then when my customer comes to see me, what's he gonna need? Is he gonna need a phone? Is he gonna act with?
He'll be able to do it on any device by the end of this year. Right now, it's Mac and Windows browser within 3 months. So you literally click a link and it will open directly to the device.
Okay, what am I putting this on?
You would be able to put it on your website if you want. Like, it's yours. It's not my experience. It's your experience. Like,
It's
that's
open
it.
source.
Yep. It's as close to open source as possible. You'll be able to export it and like these companies. The one thing I'll throw out, he's right. I'm definitely missing some competitors here. The main thing is that like everyone's focusing on hosting. Who is hosting it on their servers, even though no one's making money on it. Every single company is losing money on hosting right now. It's not possible at the current cost. They've driven it way too far down to make money. So we encourage you to export it, honestly. Take it somewhere else, please. You'll save me a lot of costs, but we're gonna make it way easier for you to create it than anybody else. I can tell you that much. We'll go with here first, and then I'll come to this side of the room.
Thank you. That was a very interesting presentation. I was wondering, I missed the technical part. You mentioned WordPress.
Yep. Canva and WordPress. So our model is very similar to the way they built their technology, really enabling people to do it their way and getting rid of the back-end infrastructure that everyone's recreating over and over. I talked to a team yesterday that said 90% of the time that they spend building a multiplayer video game is building these elements that we've already done. So we're just essentially white labeling it and licensing it to you and enabling you to either publish early in way less time and money, or to reinvest that time and money into creating a way better experience for your end user.
Yes, my eyes are not good.
Yeah.
By chance you could read that.
Here or here?
No, the
Bottom?
yes.
Yeah, apps and integrations. So integrations with other software, Web 2 or Web 3, we are cross-chain. User-generated content, templates, 3D models, gamification elements, extended functions, add-ons basically, and then custom code. So you can write anything you want. It's your experience, not mine.
3 years ago, the trade show and conference industry shut down.
Yep.
In a matter of 72 hours. Everything shut down. And everybody started looking at, okay, how are we gonna do virtual conferences, virtual trade shows? And the technology was not there 3 years ago. Everybody thought, oh wow, here's a great opportunity to make that happen. And it didn't, and because it didn't, everybody was like, we're going back to the in-person thing, and kind of dropped this idea of virtual and hybrid. I see tremendous potential here for creating the option for virtual trade shows and building them in a way that 3 years ago wasn't possible. Are you looking into that and looking at any trade show specific companies and methodologies of how to do that?
Yeah, so we were focused on events during 2021. I mean, I started building this in 2019 as a VR shopping platform, basically fully in-store shopping online, basically interactive with Shopify. And if that failed, basically, the market wasn't ready. And that's what led us to building this, because I realized that I couldn't rapidly prototype something and show people. I did invest a lot of time and money to hire a team to do that. Therefore, we're building a platform, anyone can do that. So we did events in 2021. We did 55 events, I want to say, which is pretty great. Like I was really happy about that. And what we've ultimately found is that events are one-offs, very hard to get recurring. So therefore, we are not necessarily leaning in on those, but we do have clients that are building virtual trade booths and things like that because it's persistent. So they can enable their customer who might not have been able to show up at the conference, right, to go back to that booth again at a later point, which has been, they've loved that from a sales perspective.
Can you do a NFT gallery that people could click on and buy?
You can integrate with any wallet, chain, NFT, salt, you name it, we can integrate with it, yeah.
They can't just walk through, they gotta climb, you know, it's gotta be.
You can do it your way.
Right.
My cousin's daughter lives in Costa Rica. Her husband owns a multinational company that designs office spaces for big companies. Would you like an introduction?
I would love an introduction, because I'm assuming he's 3D models, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know what he's using, but this would be tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, he could do showcases. We have a company right now that I met, Arctide. I don't know if anyone knows them. They're in Tampa. They're building like a floating city, which is pretty cool. And it doesn't exist, obviously, for obvious reasons at this moment. But we're working with them to enable people to do virtual tours and also go into like a home on the floating city and see, you know, ideate on what it could look like to design your own space there, which is pretty cool.
And also, I want to meet with you for lunch because we're starting what we hope is going to be the biggest collector show ever at the convention center in about 20 months, and I want to try to be creative.
We'll have to make that happen before next Wednesday if we can.
We had a guy, and I don't know if everybody remembers, Chico. He does clones, photographic clones of an
Digital
interior
twins.
of a house. Would you be able to take that kind of information and make a 3D, instead of a 3D illustration, but
Yeah.
the actual photo 3D experience? Can
Yeah,
you do that?
so I'm assuming most people are familiar with Matterport, right? Matterport's great. We can build, anybody, they don't even have to talk to me, actually. A developer could come along and say they want to integrate with Matterport and stream in all 3D models directly from there and enable people to walk through it along with others. So you could have somebody showing a house, like an agent, that's in the property at the same time you're viewing it, so you can ask questions in real time. AI will probably help with that a little bit more too.
One quick question, logistically speaking, so we download the Unity SDK, right? But so we're running it in Unity.
The SDK, our application is completely separate. Outside of, we're taking the Unity game engine and simplifying it into a no-code platform, basically.
So we can just recreate it in HTML5 or anything else.
Yeah, right now we export, we handle the export like for you, but you'll be able to custom build those things so you can export and host it where you wish.
All right, thanks.
Vince is a friend of mine. I hooked you guys up today because he was part of that other conversation. The problem we have with the virtual convention things, besides the fact that the quality was what they wanted to charge, made no sense to me. Yes, I save flying my people there. Yes, I save on hotels, but I wasn't saving a dime on the event. What's the reality of it? It doesn't cost them $5,000 for me to have a booth in that space.
Yep.
So they need to get that cost way down. But I will get you can be a phone before you get out of here. I'll get you a Vincent phone. He's got some really neat stuff.
I appreciate that a lot.
I just wanted to take my time to listen. So I'm actually an angel investor and have relationships throughout the country. That's why I'm in the installation program you're in. There are a couple of points I want to discuss about your presentation, but I'd like to introduce you to some people, right, in terms
I
of
appreciate that.
funding and acceleration.
Thank you.
All right, so final question. What can we as a community do for you in the next 7 days?
In the next 7 days, I mean,
Or beyond.
honestly,
we'll be here.
like this list here is really what we're looking for. The main thing is feedback and criticism, hands down. Like that is more valuable than anything else that anyone could do for us. We need to learn, we need to grow. If it doesn't get better, none of the rest of these things will come to fruition anyway. So ultimately, like I encourage you to download what we've got, to come check us out, and please provide us any and all feedback that you have, because we really want to grow and advance what we're building here and make an impact. So thank you all for your time, though. I appreciate it.
So next we are going to hear from Cotey.
How y'all doing today?
Great.
Good. So there are billions of people around the world, millions of talented artists and musicians, thousands just on campus, and unfortunately, they cannot monetize. It's Outdoor Cotey with Artimist, and we're going to change that. So we thought about this and we had an aha moment. How can there be so much money being made online, but none of the money is going back to the content creators? It's going mostly to the platforms and advertisers. I think now is the perfect time because with the internet and mobile technology, nearly everyone can be a part of it. We're trying to cut out the middleman, like the labels and the studios and the platforms, and pass the earnings onto the artists that deserve them. We're passionate because we're artists too and feel that the struggle of having to make ends meet.
Is it possible to do F5 so that?
Berg, try F5.
Okay,
No.
whoops.
Go ahead and
Rewind.
this is the one problem with PDFs in here.
Open the PDF and a PDF program, not.
We don't have the PDF program on this drive.
There you go.
You talk, I'll steer.
So here is a drawing by Lorenzo Rubio. He's a student of mine, and it's supposed to show a video of the progress from just a sketch to like more and more shadows and facial hair growing on it, and then it plays the songs in the background. But it was too big to send through email, so he's a very talented artist. Okay, next one. Okay, so many of the hurdles for artists are psychological, but they stem from more systemic problems like a lack of representation, difficulty having to manage, market, and sell themselves. They're distracted from the creation process, and the pileup can become stressful. When they miss opportunities, and it can become discouraging. The industry is fragmented, options are overwhelming, there's a lack of ownership, and a lack of creative control. How we make things easier is to create real monetization and exposure to benefit the artist. But use a two-sided platform with a global focus, with ad revenue bundled revenue, 100% ownership, and creative control. There are a lot of different ways that artists can earn a living. They can get physical sales of originals, they can sell prints, they can get digital sales, they can do commission work, licensing, donation, merchandising, advertising, and sponsorships. So we charge a small monthly fee to give artists and their fans access to our marketplace. Here they can get their work to people around the globe, and audiences can discover new talent. Because of the monthly fee, we can more easily validate our users are real, and it ensures that the votes are accurate. The more votes a piece gets, the more visible it becomes, and the more likely it is to monetize. So this is our market opportunity as it is now. The global market is 65 billion, and that's for the global art market. For the online global art market, it's 14 billion, and for the US online art sales, it's 850 million. So a lot of other companies have had to go through the risk and find the opportunities and understand their target markets. Right now, we're performing we've performed customer discovery at UCF as part of Agora, and we talked to a lot of the students. We went to the visual arts building, and we spoke to students that are paying to learn art there, and asked them what their biggest fears were, their frustrations of being an artist, and a lot of it had to do with how they're going to earn money. So when the internet launched, Napster kind of like killed the dream of being an artist for a lot of artists, because people could download music without having to pay for it, and the artists weren't making money, the labels weren't making money, and the labels weren't signing new artists. But in the last 6 years, we've seen amazing growth in the online art industry. Revenue has went up 600%. Profits have quintupled. Annual growth has doubled. Businesses went from 347 to 2,203. And wages went from 51 million to 210 million. So after Napster kind of like made the internet a barren wasteland for artists where they couldn't really make money, social media came and people started slowly crawling back towards this idea of putting things online, and kind of started with DeviantArt in 2000, and then MySpace came out, and Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud is for musicians that want to make a name for themselves, and they have WhatsApp, Instagram, and then now we have Snapchat and Twitter. These are our competition. Now, some of them can make you money, like on iTunes, Agora, YouTube, and Spotify, but it's harder competition and you have less creative control. On the ones that give you more creative control, like DeviantArt or SoundCloud, or even just social media, there's not a lot of ways to actually earn revenue through those channels. Okay, so our idea is a global app where you can go around and check out the whole world and click on countries, and it'll show you the art and music in those regions. And it brings artists and audiences together and asks them if they want to sell or if they want to buy. So this is my team. I'm co-founder, and then we have Destiny Burgos, who's a medical student at UCF. Thomas Whitaker graduated with a computer science degree, and Sean Schambeck, he's been mentoring me for the last year. So our go-to-market strategy is to start on campuses where the need is greatest, because these students just spend a lot of money on tuition to get into school, to try to, show everybody that they can do it, show their parents that they can make it with an art degree. And we're gonna spread word of mouth, going to the visual arts building, the music building, 3D printing building. We're also gonna use virtual reality and 3D in the future, but right now we're sticking to music and visual arts. And then we're going to keep them by actually helping them monetize, making good on our promises, but that they're going to have a chance to become popular in their country or sell their ads, and then hopefully grow from there. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create an app for artists who need a simple way to monetize. We have a very attractive interface. It's very simple and colorful. And Artimist to optimize my business model so it can be repeatable and scalable and eventually exponentially profitable. Once I do that, I want to recreate it on other campuses, go from UCF to Full Sail, which is a school specifically for arts and music, and also Rollins, Valencia, and Seminole State College. What we're looking for now are members with backgrounds in financials, marketing, or app development, and we have a rough idea of how much it's going to cost to launch the site, maintain it, and market it until we start seeing revenue and become profitable. Thank you. Sean Schanbeck is my mentor. Did you want to say anything, Sean?
Yeah. Thanks a lot. You did a great job. I want to tell you a little bit background about Sal. Sal is a bipolar, bullied and everything. Other at that time, help him out. He has unique talent. He has the right side of the brain, works very well. That's what I found out about it. I came across 2 years ago. Met him at weekend, startup weekend, 2 years ago. And he approached me. I don't know how he found out about it. I said, I need some help. Why not? I found out about it. I took him meeting. We're going to use the app. And Dr. Pape, you guys may know, help him out. And I got another guy also. I'm helping 2 people. You see that? The brilliant right side of the brain. Fortunately, majority of us use hardly 10% of our brain, right side of the brain. That's where the creativity is all about. So, we worked on it, and I realized what a great opportunity. There are literally millions and millions of students who are so talented, begging for food. I was one of them way back. You're hungry, how the hell you can learn? Okay, so he's addressing that. What we are trying to do is figuring out, help them expose themselves in the marketplace, two-sided marketplace. They can show their stuff, that's what he's trying to do. You can see that. Very, very, very simple. Create it, and what he needs is right now, somebody who can help him out. Same vision, wants to build on it. You can't do it alone. By the way, he had a stroke 6 months ago. He forgot everything. She's the one working with him, 100%. She's the one who drove it to him, drove everything to him. Okay? That's what it is. I didn't know he had a stroke. I couldn't, missing in action, I didn't know, 2 months. Like I didn't know, I knew her, but I didn't have her email address. Suddenly he surprised me. Last time, when was it, about 3-4 months ago, there was a weekend. Okay. He calls me, hey Sean, I'm at the weekend. I'm in the top 14. What? Crazy. I didn't go because I had back problem and everything. I said, no, take care, I'll be there. And I sent an email to Rupert and Vijay. Please help him out. And I was there by 1 o'clock. Nobody was helping. Participating. So I said, okay, he couldn't believe it. And he was presenting that. So, myself and Lindy are helping him get his memory back. Good thing, we are bringing only good memory back. Okay? I spent with him, I go to his place every Sunday, pick him up, go to my branch office, you guessed it, banana bread, and spend an hour or 2, and I drop him off at home, and come back. That's what I do. The reason is, the cause he's working is unbelievable. helping millions and millions all over the world. Think for a minute. And what I need is somebody with the same passion, part-time, who will cover the deal. Any deal you want, I will help you out. So that's my call, okay? Thank you. Good question.
Yeah, this is some constructive criticism. You should have started with him explaining what he just did right now. You are not a natural speaker, okay? And part of the problem you've got is you read a lot of stuff. That's insulting to the audience. They don't want to see you reading anything. You need to explain the stuff that's on the board. You did that sometimes, and that was wonderful. We can read, don't have to do that type of stuff, but he gave you what you needed, and that's the build-up as to who you are. I also am a stroke victim, and I know what it's like. I couldn't talk for months, nothing. So I have tremendous empathy for you, and I thought what you did in view of all that is amazing. So you have tremendous talent, but you need him to explain it to you.
100% agree. He was not ready to come this morning, believe me. He's on drugs. Mom's on drugs. I wanted you to show how a person can do what people are bitching in the morning. Look at this. It is own way, okay? That's what yeah, go ahead.
I have many suggestions, but the first one is talk to Ethan and set something up using his SDK to create an environment and show that to students, and they're going to be lining up. The other thing is there's one guy who was here recently, presented recently, but there's a number of other organizations. I know of an angel investor here in town that's been trying to build an app for, he calls them the organization World Art Organization, and he's a world famous person and all that. He lives here in Winter Park, and I think you should get with him because he could probably help out in some way. So I'll let you know who he is.
So do you focus mostly on digital art and digital properties, or could somebody buy something fungible, solid, like a painting? I could order a painting, or I could order a sculpture.
Yes.
I want him to show that, you saw that Steve Jobs picture?
Yeah.
You should see it. That's one of my mentees. He is developing but growing tomatoes and lettuce in the Mars capsule. Right? And he has a talent. He's the one that did it. He takes like Picasso, he takes a white paper and starts sketching. That's what his end is the job. All sorts of pictures. Amazing talent. He can make a lot of money.
We have other questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
When I was thinking about all the different ways that artists can make money, I considered the physical ones, like they can sell originals like oil on canvases, or they could sell prints, or they could sell digital copies like high resolution. They could sell merchandise just to build their brand. They could accept donations. They could do commission work, or they can advertise. Like the main way for it originally was when someone clicks on a piece of art and they click on it again to get more details, they get the artist on top, and then they have an ad space at the bottom that the artist can then sell and keep 100% of the revenue.
I also didn't see anything about competition because I know there's a ton. And obviously probably have more resources. But any of them to see, who's based on what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong.
Yeah, I looked at a few of the different competitors. Okay, so these are the different social medias, and then this is kind of our competitive landscape. Sorry. So with DeviantArt and SoundCloud, when artists put their work up, that platform then decides to put an ad there underneath it, and the platform keeps all of the money.
Right.
So they're like, hey, it's free for you to post, but you get paid in exposure. That's all you get.
Okay.
So with us is we're gonna re-channel those funds back to the artists.
I'm talking specifically about direct competitors to you that are also trying to find a platform for artists, musicians, and so forth to, you know, have a platform to sell, things like that. Yeah, because I know, like, at least that we've seen last couple of years. But
The question back.
So has UCF and Full Sail given you access, authority to go on their property with the people who are going to school there?
I am a UCF student, and I'm allowed to go throughout all of campus.
I mean, let's get real here. There's no two more money grubbing organizations in Central Florida. You walk on a UCF campus, student or no student, and they find out you're making money on this, and I guarantee you, Full Sail is gonna get, and I'm not saying they're bad people, I mean, I'm a money grubbing person myself. But the reality of it is, if you turn this into a moneymaker, they're gonna want their piece of it.
No, everybody is making money. That's the key, not he. First thing is the students making money so that they can buy food.
Well, but he's gonna get on campus to meet with those students.
yeah, but I've worked at both, I taught at both, and if the student, you created this as part of a class project, yes, they'll be all over it. But if this was done outside of a class project and you can prove that, then you don't worry about it.
Well, take a look at the football players. Now you're a college football player, you get to go out and make money where, even though you have a scholarship paid by you and me to play ball, similar type of concept. To me, there's where I see it's gonna get exciting, is some lawyer's gonna get up and go, wait a minute, you can't walk into a classroom.
Right.
You can't walk into the student cafeteria and start promoting this, and we don't get a.
Right. And I've run into those problems.
So he doesn't have to.
We are not,
I'm thinking, be prepared to give up a piece of some sort.
We are not meeting with anybody, everything is virtual. That's what it's doing, okay.
Will there be a Patreon type of support where instead of buying something, I can just give an artist $5 a month?
Yeah, there's donations options.
Okay.
Yeah. But the long term is, I'm going to just finish it before we run away. The long term goal is to validate the business model through UCF and through sales, that's what it's up to. Scalable, repeatable, scalable, and profitable. That's what it's going to do within short term. Then find other campuses, Gainesville, Miami kind of thing. Find somebody like him who wants to run it. We get half of the thing back.
If you run into problems with Full Sail or UCF, a lot of people don't realize that there is another school in Orange County that is just as large as UCF.
Valencia.
And that's Valencia College.
Yeah.
Okay. They also have over 65,000 students.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, I would approach them as well. Might be a little easier with Valencia than it would be with, develop your use cases with Valencia before you get into any potential risks with the.
We don't, I want everybody to compete with this, I tell you the truth. No, competition is not our problem, we respect them. We want to carve out something so that we can help the student.
Right.
That's all it is. It's not just making money.
Time for one more question in the back, and then I've got the final question.
Well, I'm just wondering about how you choose the artists and the artwork, because are you going, if you go by where you had mentioned kind of a popularity or in a culture, a lot of people can rig how many likes they have by getting every relative and person they know to express a like. How do you take care of that, or does it really matter?
Yeah, we don't want anyone to like rig it or people to just pay money to be able to be the top known person. We kind of make it less cost effective for people to try to do that because you have to pay the monthly fee. So then you would have to be charging your mom and your aunt and your cousin $5 a month just so that you can have a certain vote. So it's easier just to get it organically by doing good art.
To
And
build any business, like, love has not much. It's like window shopping. Can't live without it. That is the success. Everybody, like Ethan said, they can't live without it. You got them. You command value. That's what we're trying to do.
All right, so the final question, Sal, is what can we as a community do for you?
I'm looking for coders. I'm looking for artists and musicians that want to kind of like help me try it out and do the beta processing. Co-founder, people that know the financials of scaling a business, and
If you guys can help him, somebody who has the same passion, also one, who will make a deal. That's what we need, badly need. He can't do it alone. With his help and everything, no way. It's all over, but we can do it. We are determined to do it. So we need somebody to help him out at any cost.
my big picture idea was kind of before I decided to kind of start with schools and focus on schools, because that's kind of how Facebook did it. They started with Harvard, and those people had the email addresses, and they were able to spread because of that connection to each other. It was kind of to help children in like impoverished parts of the world that usually don't get money in those areas. Like we talk about why is it so polluted, or why don't they have, you know, any wealth. It's like they don't have the natural resources anymore. They don't have the technical skills. So maybe if they can use their time to create something of beauty, then the rest of the world, you know, how far the American dollar will go in parts of Africa, then we can start helping each other out like that.
I want you to give a big hand to Lindy, his mother.
Oh, well done. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. So next week, we're going to hear from Tony Martinez at Time Plast. And we're going to hear from Bonnie Patterson of Mind and Body. I love the wordplay. So if you are online, you can download the Zoom chat. If you want to get a copy of the Zoom chat from me and you're here in person, just email me at eric.deckers@gmail, E-R-I-K, and I will send that to you. Make sure you join us on meetup.com. Connect with somebody that you met with here today. I've got a couple people I want to introduce, but please meet with each other, get some coffee, get some lunch, get to know each other. That's how we build our community. Thank you all for coming, and we will see you in 167 hours.